Hey guys, thanks for joining us on this special episode, and don't forget to support our Patreon. Just $1 or more will get you early access to all of our content as well as other special features. Enjoy the show! The following is a fan-based video review under fair use. King Kong 1976 is owned by Paramount Pictures, John Gullerman, Dino de Laurentiis, Studio Canal, and Shout Factory. Please support the official release. "45 minutes of additional, deleted, or extended scenes were cut back into the film. Paramount has never released this version in its entirety on any home video format. Kong 76 hasn't even gotten a Blu-ray in North America. It does piss a lot of fans off that this version was never released. Kong 76 has never been released on Blu-ray in North America, yet it's common in other countries on the format. We've never gotten a Blu-ray copy of this movie. We're releasing Kong 76 on Blu-ray in North America as its own disc or as part of a rumored Dino de Laurentiis box set. Paramount will grow a pair of balls and not only release the film on Blu-ray, but possibly the extended TV cut. Release the extended TV cut with the theatrical version. Never gotten a Blu-ray copy. Never been released. Never released. We're releasing Kong 76 on Blu-ray and release the film on Blu-ray. Release this version. Release the extended TV cut. Release the extended TV cut. Seriously, what the hell, Paramount? Release this fucking thing on Blu-ray already! My prayers have been answered. Hey guys, Jack here, and welcome to the King Kong review series, and welcome to a new segment of the show I like to call Behind the Gates. Your typical King Kong review. It's just essentially me unboxing stuff I bought that is Kong related and reviewing more physical products rather than a movie itself. I know a lot of you fans have been asking me to take a look at the merchandising regarding King Kong. However, I didn't know if I wanted to do that as a full review or just do them separately. So here's a compromise for you. I'm just gonna do these when I feel like it. And before you say anything, no, this is not going to be a skit related review. I'm not working with a script, I'm more or less improvising, so don't expect any skits or post-credit scenes in these videos.
Are you sure you're okay?
Everything's fine, darling! Now, a while back, or if you've seen that recap, I covered the majority of King Kong video formats on the show. And I did advocate that the 1976 film has yet to be released on Blu-ray in North America. Well, back in January, this schmuck made an announcement that Shout Factory is officially putting out the 1976 film on Blu-ray for the first time in North America. And not just the film itself. For the first time ever, the extended TV cut will be officially released in widescreen HD in the best quality imaginable. So that means no more of these bootleg taped off TVs transferred to DVD quality pieces of shit. It's time to take a look at what they actually put out. And it took me forever to get this package. I pre-ordered it back in February and have been waiting since its release, and it took a full week to get here. Pushy Americans, you get a post-pandemic before us Canadians, and now you get the Blu-ray? What the hell?
Always showing up late for every war, overpaid, oversexed, and over here.
So yeah, Shout Factory finally sent me my copy of the Blu-ray of King Kong, and this is actually an exclusive pre-order that they only sent out to a few people, so lucky me, I got it while I still could. So this review will be sort of an unboxing and a comparison to other releases. But before we get to that, here's a little recap on the history of the extended TV cut of the 1976 film. In 1978, NBC got the television rights to the 1976 film after its healthy release in theaters in December 1976, all the way through the end of 1977. Despite Dino de Laurentiis putting out movies like Orca, as well as Flash Gordon years later, given Star Wars was dominating the box office. But when the movie was put out on television, the television network asked for more footage to be shown so they could fit the movie in a 2-night block. Part 1 would air on Saturday night, and Part 2 would air on Sunday night. Part 1 would end right when Jack is about to be captured by Kong on the log bridge, which also included previews for Part 2 and a recap of Part 1 on the Sunday night. This extended TV cut had 45 minutes of additional material added to the film, which was more or less a work print of the movie, going from 2 hours to 15 minutes to a full 3 hours in total, with more scenes including Kong and a lot of padding where you can see why they cut it out for pacing reasons. There actually does exist a third cut of this movie, but it was never released to the public and only used for preview screenings. The only real difference between it and the extended TV cut is the fact that we see Wilson survive his ordeal after Kong stomps on his hat, where we see him kind of crying in a very immature state. The previews for the movie really hated that scene, so the scene was ultimately cut for the final film and edited down to where it looked like Fred was killed. There was also a slight alternate ending in this preview cut in which, after Kong's fall, when Jack tries to reach out to Dwan, he sees the star power she's obtained and actually walks away from her, leaving the film on an even more depressing note. This segment of the ending was also cut from the preview screenings. There's been rumors of another scene that's been lost or cut completely with the crew coming across more of the giant snakes and the island's inhabitants, but unfortunately that scene never made it to even the shooting schedule, only surviving in script form. Hell, Dino actually offered stop-motion animator Jim Danforth to come up with a scene involving the crew actually encountering some form of dinosaur, but Jim pretty much told Dino to get fucked after complications with the Universal project, and De Laurentiis ultimately winning the battle for the remake. Hell, Jim even advocated the film not being nominated for any Academy Awards. I guess the idea was to add more creature stuff to make up for no dinosaurs in the movie, but given the fact that the snake barely worked in the scene where he fights Kong, it's kind of a given why they cut it. There were many prop snakes made for the film, but the majority of them barely worked on screen. There was even suggestion from the filmmakers to get a little person to be in a miniature-sized Kong suit battling a real boa constrictor filmed at a high frame rate. But the scene was ultimately shot in a different method by having the snake cut up in several pieces wrapped around Rick Baker and Will Shepard, and shoot it all in tight close-ups, though a few wide shots do appear in the extended cut. After the successful airing in 1978, the television cut did appear a few more times on NBC, most notably from 1980 to 1983, one of which due to the fact that Jessica Lange was nominated for an Academy Award at that time. Hell, the first airing in 1978, Part 2 was actually disrupted during the New York scenes with the report of the Camp David ceasefire and peace deal at the time, which must have really pissed off a lot of viewers and fans.
We interrupt this program for a special report from NBC News. We shall return to King Kong in its entirety immediately following this report.
This town needs an enema.
But before the advent of the Shout Factory release, the extended TV cut had never been officially released, only surviving on taped bootlegs from TV, as well as rare 16mm prints transferred to VHS and then eventually online and on DVD. And the quality was absolutely terrible. Either the picture was too dark or too grainy with the VHS recordings, not to mention being shown in a 4:3 aspect ratio in full screen, taking away the original widescreen format the film was meant to be presented on. The only way to see some of the stuff from the extended TV cut in widescreen and in HD was only 15 minutes of deleted scenes on the Region 2 Blu-rays that were in Europe and Japan, and that's mostly due to the fact that Studio Canal held massive grips on the rights after the De Laurentiis estate handed over the rights to them. It's funny to think that we get multiple cuts of Terminator 2, which they also own, but not this cut. The only way for North American audiences to view the film was on reproductions of the original late 90s DVD version, which I believe was ripped from the Laserdisc, and the quality is awful. Never really getting a full remaster until North American television companies like AMC got the rights to the Region Blu-rays and showed it in crystal clear quality. But now, on the eve of its 45th anniversary, and with the recent release of Godzilla vs. Kong, it's finally time for Shout Factory to show us what they've done with this Blu-ray release. So of course we're gonna unbox this, and we're going to be using my trusty dagger. Remember kids, get your parents' permission or assistance to help you unbox, because Lord knows you don't want to end up cutting yourself. Nah, I'm just kidding. Alright, let's open this sucker. Okay, there we go. That's gonna leave a mark. Well, first of all, there's Shout Factory logos! Now, I just want to come out and say it, I fucking love Shout Factory. They make some of the best DVD releases imaginable. In fact, they put out one of my favorite TV shows of all time, home movies, as well as the Power Rangers and Super Sentai seasons on DVD. So they're a marvelous company that put out some great products. Oh, it's nicely wrapped. Thank you, Shout Factory. You know how to wrap your stuff, but... Oh, here it is. Oh my god. Wow. I'm impressed with the cover already. So here it is. It's the Blu-ray Collector's Edition of King Kong by Shout Factory. It includes the theatrical and extended cut. As you can see, the artwork is spectacular. I frickin' love how this looks. This is magnificent. Whoever painted this, I can't remember who. I'll put their name right here, but dude, if you ever want to talk, let me know. I would love to discuss what you did to make this painting come to life. This is absolutely marvelous. Now, what I love too is even on the back, it's got sort of this film grain look, a couple scratches here and there. I think that kind of adds to the charm of the back of it. You can see photos of Jeff Bridges and Jessica Lange, Kong on the elevated train and Lange there. And let's read what the back says, just for shits and giggles. The Petrox Company search for new oil reserves on a strange island unleashes a terror unseen by civilized man. King Kong! The timeless story of beauty, Jessica Lange making her feature film debut, and a beast comes to the screen in this ambitious production from Dino de Laurentiis. Charles Grodin is the scheming oil company shark out to exploit the giant beast to its fullest. Yeah, you even got a rip on Jaws even on this Blu-ray. I love it.
Why you don't put the scene in which King Kong eats the Jaws?
And Jeff Bridges as the desperate hero, Jack Prescott, who attempts to whisk the beautiful heroine from King Kong's grasps. New York City trembles with each echoing footstep as the towering ape is set loose on the streets. So yeah, this is a wonderful Blu-ray sleeve. It's freaking amazing, and I just want to see what the special features are. 2-disc set, featuring the theatrical cut and extended broadcast television cut. That's what we're aiming for. New 2K scans of the additional TV footage. That is awesome. It may not be 4K, but 2K is enough for me. Restored theatrical audio. Woo, so does this mean we're gonna get the mono mix? It's funny because mono mixes I've been actually trying to hunt down when it comes to original films from that time period. Radio spots, TV spots, theatrical trailer, and still galleries. Finally, there are bonus features on this. DVD, you have been replaced. Shit. But yeah, this looks wonderful. Big thanks to Shout Factory, and I just want to open up the sleeve. Yep, there it is too. Now, I know on this they have an alternative version with the original poster, but I love this artwork so much that I'm just going to keep it as it is. Plus, it reminds me, hey, here's the extended cut for you. So I can't wait to watch this and compare it to the other releases. But that's not the only thing Shout Factory sent me. They also sent with this exclusive pre-order a cardboard tube. No, it's actually the poster of the artwork for the Blu-ray, which is freaking awesome! So I just want to see what this poster looks like, and I'm definitely going to get this framed to be presented in my Kong reviews. Alright, let's see here. Oh man. Wow! Ho ho ho! It actually looks so much better in poster form. Wow! This is the coolest thing I have ever seen. Holy shit! Yes! Yes! I'm actually going to watch it right now, and when I'm out of here, you're going to see me compare it to the other releases and give a quick little review of it. Now, bear in mind, I have reviewed the extended TV cut before, so don't expect anything new for me to add. In fact, if you want to see me cover the extended TV cut, go check out my review with Isaac the Media Hunter. It was a great review to collaborate on, and we even did the sequel, King Kong Lives. So without further ado, let's stick this fucker in our Blu-ray, and let's take a look at the HD remaster of the extended TV cut of King Kong, as well as all the stuff that's on these Blu-rays. Let's pop this monkey in his cage! The first thing I watched, obviously, was the second disc with the extended TV cut, and all I have to say is wow. Shout Factory really outdid themselves with this restoration, and the extended scenes are clean and sharper than expected, making the film so much more enjoyable in its quality. So for those who own those old VHS rips from the 80s, you might consider throwing them out, but in all honesty, keep them around for historical preservation, along with if you're a hardcore Kong collector. Now, the TV cut does come with a disclaimer saying that it took some real efforts and attempts to restore the footage, and that's due to the fact that the original negatives and tapes were severely damaged and worn out over time. Some fans have had minor nitpicks regarding the film's grain, scratches, and white flickering on some of the scenes, but again, this is due to the massive damage from the negatives, and credit to the team for cleaning it up the best they could. Honestly, I don't mind the worn out look, because it gives the movie a much more film projector look, rather than the cleaned out digital wash that come in most film re-releases. If you want to see what it takes to restore a film like this, I'd recommend the documentary on the restoration of Jaws to get a better idea of the hard work it takes. Now, comparing the original full-screen aspect ratios is out of the question, because the film looks sharper, cleaner, brightened up, and presented in the film's original widescreen ratio. Hell, some of the scenes were presented on Region 2 Blu-rays and DVDs as deleted scenes, and even this print improves the quality to some extent. I know some have also picked apart the change in sound quality, and while it is a minor issue, I can see why. Hell, some scenes presented in this new version sound better on the Region 2 Blu-ray, so I don't know why they didn't consider taking elements from other sources for a better cleanup, kinda like how the creators did on the despecialized editions of Star Wars. This is just a straight up 2K transfer of the film print that was given to Shout Factory, and honestly, it's pretty damn good all things considered. I'll also say something Kaiju Network brought up is that this presentation feels more like a TV miniseries, and watching it for the full 3 hours, I can kinda see that now. Hell, the print still keeps the commercial break fade-outs and the recap for Part 2. Why they didn't have the preview for Part 2 and the black credits from Part 1, though, is anyone's guess. Not gonna lie, when I was watching this again, I swear there's some shots that I've never seen before, even in the old recordings off TV, and even some shots from the original airing are actually missing from this cut. I could be corrected on that, given some shots might have been foregone in damages to present in the film, so they probably had some spare shots from the dailies to replace the lost ones, or because of the widescreen aspect ratio, it's a little harder to tell. But with that said, given it's a straight-up transfer, they still kept all the censored pieces. Now, nothing wrong with that, honestly, given it presents TV practices at the time, but this is an instance where if you want essentially the complete uncut extended edition, you'll have to mash the theatrical and extended cuts together to get the full picture. Honestly, it would be cool to see a fan edit of both prints presented here. Disc 2 also has subtitles, as well as a featurette from a Q&A panel from the film's 40th anniversary in 2016 with Rick Baker, Richard H. Klein, and Ray Morton among others for a little extra treat. Now on to the first disc, which is a new restored version of the theatrical cut. And honestly, while it's a fantastic high-quality transfer, I actually found it has some of the same grain as the extended cut, which lessens a fewer points for me given the HD masters from the Region 2 Blu-rays looked a tad bit better. Though while the sound is fantastic, it lacks a few areas that could have been cleaned up. One thing I noticed about the old beta and VHS tapes was the few pieces of audio that since have never been restored. Take this comparison as a prime example.
Jack, you want to talk for us?
I'll try.
What if they're not buying?
You shoot in the air only.
Jack, you want to talk for us?
I'll try. You shoot in the air only.
It would have been a good opportunity to up previous releases with a full restoration, but that's a minor nitpick. Personally, as much as I love the improved DTS sound system to the film, this for a lot of North American audiences is a good release to watch the film on regardless. Disc 1 is also where you'll find the majority of bonus features. There's 2 audio commentaries with King Kong, the History of the Movie Icon's author Ray Morton, as well as one with Kong himself, Rick Baker, providing behind-the-scenes stories on the production. While I would have loved to have seen one with Jeff Bridges, Jessica Lange, and the late Charles Grodin, these commentaries from both Baker and Morton give a lot of insights on the production, as we learn more about director John Gellerman on the set, as well as Morton pretty much giving an audiobook narration of his iconic book, The History of the Movie Icon. There's also several interviews with other talents and artists of both film historians and those who worked on the production. There's also TV spots, trailers, radio spots, and stills from the movie, and a lot more to unpack with this release in terms of bonus features. Though I do wish they could have provided a little more from other releases as well, as a more in-depth documentary. Hell, the Blu-ray doesn't even include other features from previous releases and other content like the mini documentary Making Kong from the Region 2 Blu-rays, as well as TV specials like King Kong the Living Legend, King Kong Fact or Fantasy, and even old 8mm behind-the-scenes footage is nowhere on this release. Given the current world situation as well as potential business affairs, and it goes without question of why they couldn't really do a more in-depth documentary like the Making of Production 601 as seen on the 33 release. And honestly, they did their best here with the bonus features, and the release of the cuts themselves is all I wanted from them. And that's enough to satisfy me as a whole. Overall, this collector's edition Blu-ray is so far the definitive release of Kong 76, and I couldn't be happier. The film looks cleaner than it's ever been, the sound and supplementary material is fantastic, and after decades of activism and petitioning, it's great to see the extended TV cut finally released to the public, putting a massive closure for fans wanting the complete picture. While I still will probably watch the theatrical cut, the extended cut is a masterful transfer, and this Blu-ray should be in everyone's collection, both for film buffs, Kong fans, and kaiju fans, coming in at, of course, a 10 out of 10. Shout Factory continues to outdo themselves with every release, and I can proudly say have provided some of the best home media releases I've ever seen. And I can't wait to see what they put out next. With this and the release of Orko last year, I keep hearing rumors of a Dino De Laurentiis box set, and if that comes to pass, it wouldn't surprise me if Shout Factory takes the reins. Bravo, Shout Factory, bravo. Now get King Kong Lives on there. So that's my thoughts on Shout Factory's collector's edition release of Kong 76, one of my favorite movies of all time. It is neck and neck with the original. So a big thank you to Shout Factory. I will put a link in the description down below where you can order the Blu-ray, but this is wonderful. And bless their hearts so much for not only releasing this and giving me a really nice poster with the pre-orders, but a big thank you to them for actually sharing my reaction video that I did a while ago announcing this. They're a wonderful company, and I always enjoy everything they put out. So Shout Factory, if you're looking for a good sponsor, hit me up. I'm going to treasure this Blu-ray forever. In fact, I might order a few more just for shits and giggles. So go check them out. Link to their website down below, and you can order whatever you want, including this Blu-ray. But of course, guys, let me know your thoughts on the collector's edition Shout Factory of the extended TV cut in the comments section below. Do you like the transfer? Do you like the theatrical or the extended cut? Let me know. So until the next video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. This is BigJackFilms, signing off.